Morning. Good morning, everybody. Sawati Ton Chow. Here we are again, but today we're going to do things a little bit more differently, a little differently, a little more differently, a little more different, a little differently. No script, no real headline, no deep dive on visas or whatever. We're going to get into whatever we can get into, and that's why it's called Anything Goes. Coffee in hand, chaos in mind, and the conversation is pretty much wide open. So, you know, I need a coffee. I really need a coffee, you know that? Broward. Oh, well, that's where my home is, or my parents' home, in Broward. Used to be in Dail, but now it's in Broward, so, and I like it there. I like it a lot, but I don't like it enough to live there, quite honestly. Okay, I've seen, you know, many things here, obviously, over time. Just like anybody who stays here. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Anybody who stayed here for a little bit of time, you know, you see a thing or two, and then things just kind of build up, and then before you know it, you got some experience. And, you know, the one thing I'll say is that really, just like anywhere else, life is not always predictable. It's, what is it, Murphy's Law? You think something's going to happen, it should happen, it must happen, it looks like for sure it's going to happen, and then guess what? Something completely different happens, something you never expected. So, you know, I guess that's what makes it exciting and frustrating. And anyway, that's why we're here. That's why I decided to do an impromptu stream. I was going to sit here and do some work, and I just thought, why not? So we can talk about expat life, the hidden realities of Thailand, which a lot of people don't really know that many of them, and I do have a video coming up on that. Relationships, which everybody has an opinion about that. Culture, money, finances, ghosts, spirits. Some things people don't want to say out loud, or you won't find in the Lonely Planet Guide, and some things you only learn really by just sticking around. And I don't mean taking a little 2-week trip. And I've been there for 20 years, and I come every year for 3 weeks. Okay, that's great, but it's not the same as living here. So anyway, today we're just gonna kind of let her rip. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what goes. So throw in your questions, your stories, whatever you want, and we'll just hit the topics. Maybe you need a coffee. I don't know. I got my coffee. So just chill. We'll be here a little while. What is this here? Apparently I have missed a few streams. I wasn't expecting them. I've been doing a few big projects in the house the past couple of weeks. Well, I was going to send you a message, but I just figured you're probably busy, you know. So, glad to see you here, though. Jim's been here a while. He's been in Thailand for a while. What is it, 6 years now? 5 years? I don't remember, but my memory is kind of going. In case you don't know, for all the new people out there, my name is Scott, and I am an American who's been living in Thailand for more than 30 years, coming up on 31, coming up on the 31st year. And the only thing I want to say is, if you like this live stream, you like my videos, please remember to hit the like button. Supposedly it helps with the algorithm. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't subscribed already. And that way, supposedly, maybe not in Jim's case, you will stay informed of the upcoming live streams and videos. And if you'd like to send me a letter, a message, a comment, well, you can always put it in the comments, or you can send me an email at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can get a consultation. I just did one the other day. Very interesting. We could talk about that a little bit. No names or anything like that. No specifics. But that was pretty interesting. And I think I helped the guy out a lot. Yeah. I think. 3.5, but they have gone by so quickly. I stuffed a lot of experiences in that short time rather than occupying a bar stool. Well, I hate to say it, but you know, the bar stool is not the way to go, because you know, because you can. There's a lot. Man, what is going on with this here? There we go. You waste your time. I mean, you know, if you go out once in a while and you know, you hit the bar and you go out for a nice night out or something, that's different. I mean, listen, if my wife said to me, "Hey, you know, let's go out, let's go to some club or something." What is going on here? Let's go to some club or something. Have a couple of drinks. Oh, all right, let's go. But like, just for me to go like someplace like Nana Plaza, or you know, hit the strip in Pattaya, it's not gonna happen. I got a lot of other things that I do that keep me busy here, and that's something you got to think about when you come here, especially if you don't have a full-time job, you're not working all the time, or you're not working at all, you're just retired. What will you do with your time? Now, Jim just said, oh, you know, I know he's worked around the house and stuff like that, made a fish pond, and so that keeps him busy, right? Me, I mean, I do all kinds of things. You know, now we're probably going to be going down to the south every month, at least once. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm going away next month, and I told my wife she's going to be in Phuket, and she never wants to, I don't know why. She never wants to go where I want to go. Oh, it's too far. It's too hard to... If you gotta take she doesn't understand this. If I go to Phuket, right? I go to Phuket, you need to take about an hour drive. Maybe it's 45 minutes. You take a drive in from the airport down in wherever you are in Phuket. Let's say it's an hour drive. Well, you know, I was like thinking to myself, if I went to Kanong, it takes an hour and a half by minivan. Now, if I went to Phuket, it takes an hour to get in from the airport. Well, from the airport in Surat, it takes an hour and a half. And I'm like, that's not that much more. Why don't you want to go there? Oh, there's nothing to do. I didn't, you know. And I'm like, I always got to try to, like, talk her into it. With me, she's just like, I'm going to Hanoi. You want to go with me? Yeah, all right, let's go. You know, and Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh now they're not my favorite places. They're not my favorite places because they're too chaotic. Tomorrowland, Pattaya. Most outsiders see information or videos of life in Bangkok and Pattaya. They are missing out on a vast portion of Thailand. Yeah, and that's the thing. Those who know, know. Those who don't know, they've got their heads up their asses if they think they really know. Because most of the time they don't. And let me tell you, I have got some comments in the last couple of weeks because, you know, my channel's doing a little bit better. I'm getting more hits. I'm getting more views. Okay, I'm getting more subscribers. That's great. But man, I got people that are writing in with comments. They're like, the Chinese have taken over Thailand. I'm like, really? Okay. The Chinese put the Khmer up to attacking Thailand. All these things, and I'm like, you're just coming up with your ideas. I don't care about ideas, I care about facts. You know, and if we can't verify anything, then it's not a fact. I don't know for sure. Now, granted, I don't know for sure that the Chinese didn't put them up to it, but I don't know for sure that they did it. So the way that I look at it, until it's verified, you know, the Cambodians acted on their own free will. They're always dropping stuff over there, always. I've heard money laundering is part of the reason why Thailand is quietly killing cash. Now, they're not really killing cash. It's an overstatement. And it was an overstatement for a reason. Because slowly but surely, Thailand has been using the QR code more and more. Now, you can tell me, oh, well, you know, they don't use it out here in bumfuck. Okay, I understand that. Not yet, they don't. And, you know, there's a lot of places that do not take cash anymore. We've been talking about this. And, you know, I brought up a couple. I can't think of some of the other places. Casa La Pin, that's a coffee shop. They don't take cash. McDonald's. Starbucks. Dairy Queen. All these companies. And people are like, why are you going to McDonald's? I don't go to McDonald's. But I know already that some of them don't take cash. And I know that Starbucks, some of them don't take cash. Icon Siam, the Starbucks in there. The big one, Starbucks Reserve, they don't take cash. Subway won't take cash. Now, I don't go to any of these places anymore because I am on a very, may not look like it with this shirt because it's loose. This shirt used to be kind of snug, but it's not anymore. I've lost 11 kilos now, and I want to lose about 36, so I got some more to go. So I got 25 more kilos. I don't know if I can do that, quite honestly. But I don't go to McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's because their food is shit. And if I was to go to McDonald's in a pinch, I'd probably buy a triple burger and I'd take all the patties off. I'd eat the patties and maybe one slice of cheese if they had a slice of cheese on it. And that's all I would eat. I wouldn't eat fries. I wouldn't drink Coke. Can't remember the last time I had a Coke. Starbucks, you know, I grew dirty on Starbucks when Starbucks was right here. Now, people, you know, I've said this many, many times. Starbucks originally was that away, in front of the, right in front of the grocery store, and it was tiny. You could sit about 12 people, and that's it. It was tiny. I mean, really small. And then they moved it here. Now it's on the other side. Now, when they moved it here, there was a great bunch of girls. I got to know them. I got to talking to them. You know, they were nice. But, you know, after a while, I was like, wait a minute. You know what really got me? And it's not the money. It's just what they're doing. Their actions. They used to have a 600 milliliter water, and it was 15 baht. Then it was 550, and it was the same price. And then they bumped it up to 20 baht. Then they bumped it up to 25 baht. Now, water here is 25 baht. And I don't know how big it is. It might be 500 milliliters. In Starbucks, they reduced it again to 500 milliliters. And the price is 25 baht. And all of their products went up. You're talking about $5, $6 to buy a little muffin, a little cake. The cheapest thing in there is chocolate chip cookies, and they're about $2.50. And I'm like, these are, first of all, this food is dog shit. I mean, even the food here is dog shit. They have a couple of things. They have some little sandwiches and stuff like that that, you know, they're not terrible, but they're not great. So when I saw these things and the price going up and up and up, and then I just thought, that Starbucks over there does not have the same je ne sais quoi as the Starbucks that was right here did, or the little one. It doesn't have anything going for it. It's too big, it's too loud, and I'm just like, you know what? I've had enough of Starbucks. So once they closed this one up, I went, I can't really go to Starbucks. I went there a couple times and I just go, this sucks. This place is shit. And I went in once, this is about a year ago. I went in once, and I went in because the only reason that I went in, well, I still know where beer is, I still know what she's doing, but I haven't looked in a little while. I went in once because I needed change. I had to have change for this taxi. So I ran in there and I said, can you please change 100? And they're like, no, you have to. No, they didn't say anything. And I didn't say that. I said, I need change. Can I have a cookie? Because I figured I'd buy the cookie, and it was 500 baht I had. I gave them that, and they said, no, we don't take cash. And I go, you don't take cash? No, we don't take cash. And I went, you know what? Just one more reason not to go to Starbucks. I just don't care about it. Now, I come to Pacamara. My nose is all stuffed up. Prices are pretty much, I would say they're a little bit cheaper here. I mean, you can get like the little foo-foo drinks for 130 baht here, where in Starbucks they're 160, 170, 185 baht, even 210 baht. So it is a little cheaper here. But the coffee is much, much better. I drink coffee at home. I use Pacamara coffee. John will turn me on to a place. The coffee wasn't bad. But I'm like, this is not a mid-level coffee. This is kind of like a little dirty coffee that, you know, you just put it. It's like it's office coffee. You bring it into the office and everybody's in the office and they just drink the dirt. Now, Alex told me, oh, they have illy in my office. They have illy. They give free beer once in a while. They give free wine to him. I'm like, you got it going on at that place. So I don't go into Starbucks anymore. That was the last time. And I just went, and you know, I know people, I have friends, foreign friends. They go in there to get the tea. They go in there to, you know, drink the coffee. And a couple of them, 2, 3, 4 get together. And they sit around and talk. But you know what? I don't go there. I won't go there. I refuse. So that's McDonald's, Starbucks. I don't go to Dairy Queen. Although, you know, if you want to get a little quick ice cream, Dairy Queen is all right. But, you know, I haven't had a Dairy Queen in probably a year or two. Dairy Queen, they don't take cash. Now Subway. Jim's telling me Subway doesn't take cash. So, you know, it's kind of ridiculous. And there are businesses, I don't remember the names of them, they're just businesses. They go, no, we only take transfer or QR code. Why I don't mind driving the distances I am considered taking flights to the destinations that are over 6 hours. Having a 12-hour round trip to other places leaves me burned out. Yeah, I mean, I understand the allure of driving. For me, I just don't want to drive. That's the thing. Now, if I had a driver, you know, if I had like a Benz or a Rolls, and I was sitting in the back seat with my wife, and we had a driver with a partition, now that I could go for. You know, but I do have a chauffeur. I have a Grab taxi. So for me, that works, but I don't want to drive everywhere either. And, you know, I'm going to the south. I'm using my miles to go down to the south next month, and it's business class, because I'm like, you know what? I got the miles. I might as well use them up, use what I got, just keep going. And, you know, that way I fly in business class, even if it's only for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and I get to sit in style, I get to just relax. There has been an Asian invasion on the nightlife scene, bro. They drove up the cost. Well, that's no surprise to me. I mean, anytime that the Japanese were around before, the price went up, and they had Japanese-only clubs. Now the Koreans have come in, the Chinese have come in, and they've drove the price up of everything. Why not just take trips separate from your wife? Ross and Rayon. I don't care Ross and Rayon. I don't even know who Ross and Rayon is. It has nothing to do with trust, okay? Let me just say that, because what you may not know is that for probably, I'd say close to 20 years, I didn't go on trips with her. I never went on trips with her or the kids, because if I was going somewhere, I was going to make money. I was going for boxing. I was going as a journalist. So if I'm going on a trip, a photojournalism trip, we'll say, and I think I'm going to make $1,000, or let's just say $500. Now, I take the wife, I take the kids, it eats up the profit. So what's the point of going? I mean, really, what is the point of me going? Even if it's $1,000 and it costs me $500, well, I make $500 less that I can apply to our daily life. That's how I used to think. So she never went with me. I went to Russia, I went to Guyana, I went to Nicaragua, I went to Colombia, I went to Panama, I went to Trinidad and Tobago, I went to London, I went to Singapore without her. She could have went. She didn't want to go. I went to Indonesia, I went to the Philippines, I went to Cambodia. All these places I went, I didn't take her. Now I ask her to go with me, and she's like, meh. All right, fine. So don't go. That's okay. She don't want to go. She doesn't have to go. But, you know, there may be a time when I'm like, I'm leaving for a month. I'll be back in a month. See you later, honey. You know. Un-American. What is this? Un-American. Wait a minute. I can't see this. Don't badmouth Coke, buddy. Listen, you like Coke, that's good for you. I don't want to drink Coke. I don't want to drink Pepsi. I don't want to drink soda. Okay? Look at the sugar in it. That's all I got to say. I am from Seattle. I never go to Starbucks. CEO talk about paying for the experience to account for the gouging. No, thank you. Listen, I lived right down the street from Pike Street. I used to go to the very first Starbucks. This is almost 30 years ago. And, you know, I used to go there at 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. What I used to do is I would take a bus, because this was when I had come home from Thailand after, I don't know, a year or so, and I was looking for a job. Eventually I found a job on a fishing boat in Alaska, but I was in Seattle, which is where you can start to pick up some jobs. And every morning I was working as a paper cutter while I was looking for other work. I cut paper all day long because I used to be in the printing industry. And so every morning there would be a transfer, and I had time to go and grab a coffee, and I would go into Starbucks and get myself a coffee every morning. And I just, you know, now the Starbucks, I don't know what happened to Preo. She's a nice girl, but she's different. I'll say that, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. She's different. Beer is pretty nice, but she's very, very intelligent. And all the other girls that were there were really nice too. But Amazon Cafe is good for the prices they charge. Listen, Amazon Cafe, the prices they charge and what they sell, you know, thank you, Pierre. The coffee is okay. They're another one. Hey, Firedude. They're another one that the coffee is like the coffee you'll get in an office somewhere, where they just, everybody pitches in, they get, you know, the 300 baht coffee. It's not very good, but it's coffee. And they just drink cup after cup of it in the morning. And, you know, that's what Cafe Amazon is, in my opinion. It's shit. My Dairy Queen takes cash. Well, maybe it won't for long, I don't know. But it sucks. The nearest airport is 90 minutes away. Dairy Queen near me takes cash. Okay, do you really think Thailand will remove cash entirely in the next 10 years? I don't think so. But anything is possible, man. Honestly, I don't really think they're going to completely do away with cash. I don't know, but it could be. Now, I'll tell you, when I leave the mall, I mean, if I walk across the street and want to get a motorbike and just go home, it's 20 baht, right? Now, if I go, oh, do you take transfers? A lot of the guys are like, they don't want to take transfers. They want the cash. Now, I get a taxi to come here, and the guys are like, okay, no problem. Then they come here, and what they like to do is, if, you know, it's 35 baht, they'll go, okay, here's another, what do they say? They say, here's another 100. They'll give me 100 baht, right? And they'll go, you give me the extra, transfer the extra. Okay, you know, whatever, right? So they're very easy. And if I get into a taxi leaving here, most of the time they'll take the transfers, but I have to check ahead of time unless I have cash on me. Like right now, I don't have any cash. Yesterday, I didn't have any cash. And I was like, I just, you know, asked the guy when I left, hey, you got the QR code? Yes, okay. My Dairy Queen is located inside my local Lotus. I kept the change from grocery shopping and get a caramel frappe. Yeah, I don't want a caramel frappe. I know they're good. The other day when I was down in the south, I went to Macro, and inside of the Macro they had a Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, oh God. Because I mean, I love donuts, but I just don't want to eat donuts. It's too much sugar. And so I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I got an espresso, which the espressos aren't bad. That's a long list of places. What were you doing for work? I worked with a boxing team for about 10 years, and then for about, I don't know, 12 years, I was a photojournalist, and I covered the boxing scene, and I covered travel. So every time I would go somewhere, you know, I'd go to, like I went to Indonesia for Chris John versus Marquez, Juan Manuel Marquez. Great fight. And I was the only white guy there. Now, HBO didn't want to get a hold of any Indonesians. They found out that I had photos for the fight, so they bought my photos. They paid $5,000, which was the most I ever had gotten at that time. And then right after that, because of the area that I was in, I was like, I got to take some travel shots. I got to go somewhere and try to think of some kind of an angle. And so that's what I did. That's what I used to do all the time. Je ne sais quoi, nice French, bravo. Yo, good morning. Finally catching a stream. Hey, Firedude. I'd rather pay more and enjoy my coffee. Exactly. That's exactly it. I can walk down. I can go to Cafe Amazon if I want and get an espresso for 40 baht. Instead, I come here for 105 baht and I buy an espresso here, a double espresso. But the taste of the coffee is much better. I mean, I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy the Cafe Amazon coffee, which is crap. It's not good. It's dirty. It's Thai coffee. Thai coffee is generally not premium. It's okay. In my opinion, it's okay. And I've been to places where they roast their own coffee beans, grow their own coffee beans, and I can tell you that the coffee just doesn't compare to Italian, Jamaican, Ethiopian. I mean, this might be Thai coffee. I don't know. I can get different coffee if I want, but they have all kinds of coffee. They have Colombian, Ethiopian. They have all kinds of. While on a road, Amazon is convenient for a quick coffee. Yeah, I know, and I have stopped there. You know, I mean, Fire Twins just turned 3 months. Wow. Those were the days. I should tell my wife, I should come home and tell my wife, I want a little girl. Let's make a little girl. She'd be like, are you nuts? Are you nuts? Well, we'll adopt. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. You think the end of freedom in Thailand is general high cost? End of fun? Well, that's a good question. The thing with the high cost, I don't think people are going to pay it. I mean, they have some beautiful resorts. Yes, okay, they have, you know, the Oriental. They have places in Samui. They have places in Phuket. They're gorgeous, and they're 300, 400, 500, even more than that. I mean, we stayed, most of you know this, my wife and I stayed in Kokut, and we stayed at the High Season Villa, and at the time, it was about $500 a night. Now, we stayed there, and we didn't pay for it, and it was very nice. We had 3 nights there. Now, would I pay the $500 if I had it? I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. You know, because I'm always looking for the value, not necessarily, oh, it's the highest price. It's such a good place. So, you know, I am craving a maple bar. Have at it. Dunkin' here is very different from what you would get in a New England Dunkin's. 7-Eleven coffee isn't bad. You know, people say that, but I think it's pretty much the same as, almost the same as Amazon. It might be a little bit better, but I think it's pretty close. Do you think that a Farang in his late 50s and getting married to a Thailand 20-something year younger would be a financial transaction for the young lady? That depends on a lot of things, man. Yeah, some 7-Elevens are good and some are It depends on the barista, depends on, you know, how clean their machine is and all that other kind of stuff. Well, really it's water that's darkened by beans, and that's about it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do I know? You know, I can't go to every 7-Eleven. Now, getting back to the woman thing, let's say you're 55 and she's 30. I don't know, but she's with you just for love. I would say the chances that it is a financial transaction. It may not be purely financial, but it is a financial transaction in a way that, you know, she may love you, and it may be important to get the money. That's what I would say. It's important for her to have a certain standard of living. She's not going to be with you just because she wants your old wrinkled ass. That's not going to happen. I mean, listen, I think I'm in pretty good shape, you know, aside from a little bit of a gut now. And my wife is constantly berating my ass. She's like, you have an old man ass now. Like, what am I supposed to say? Oh my God. It depends on the woman. It depends on your situation. It depends on what you ask for. Well, you're not 63. I am. So talk to me in another 10 years there. Yeah, Bon Cafe, I don't know. I don't think there's any steadfast rules. Oh, if it's 15 years, then she, if it's more than 15, she doesn't love you. And if it's 14, listen, my wife is 14 years younger than me. And, the one thing that I know is that she does love me because she puts up with some shit sometimes. Not that I don't, but all I'm saying is she's had time. She could leave if she wanted. She's perfectly capable of taking care of herself. Yeah, I mean, so I look at it like if she wanted to leave, she'd leave. After a while, if they stay with you and they don't leave you, then they're probably with you because my wife is not sticking around so she can get the big payoff. I mean, she doesn't need to. She's got her own money. She doesn't need me for money. And when you start to say things like, oh, well, there's exceptions. It depends on the guy. It depends on the girl. I mean, for me, I would never be with a woman who I'm not in I don't want to be in a relationship with her. I mean, like a full-on loving, we're intimate, we're best friends. I don't want to be in that kind of a relationship with a woman that I am taking care of because she's not taking care of herself. I don't want to do that. I just want to stay home and lay on my ass and clean up and help you, and I don't need any help. You know what I mean? I don't need help. I want my clothes done. I send my clothes to the laundry. I don't need my clothes done by anybody. Cooking? I cook mainly Western food now. And guess what? I cook Western food better than my wife does most of the time. She made some lasagna the other night that I didn't have any of that the kids loved. So sometimes she cooks some good food. I recently stayed at 200 night resort, back-to-back nights with a $40 resort. Yeah, I mean, why not? Mine's 18. Sure, there's exceptions, but generally speaking, 18 years younger. 200 night resort in Thailand is 400. Yes, definitely. The only difference was the high-end place had staff bowing before me as they handed me a glass of fruit juice at reception, and had a nicer manicured landscape. Lesser one had a nicer beach. A girl would never be in a relationship with me for money because I don't have enough, so it would all have to be love. Well, you got to spend a little money to be able to get the love. I mean, you're going to take her on a picnic and you're going to buy a loaf of bread and some cheese and salami. That's probably not going to do it for the average Thai girl. I heard a girl the other day, and the guy said to her, what would you do if a guy was to take you out for slushies? She goes, I'd be fine with it. And he goes, really? She goes, yeah, because that way we get to talk and we get to know each other. And then he wanted to take you, like out to the park or something, and just went for a walk. Okay, great. Wow. All right. Way to go, Pierre. I'm at a little bit of a plateau right now, to be honest. But let me tell you something. I don't eat much. I mean, I didn't eat breakfast. At lunch, I'll have some ground beef, about not even a quarter pound of ground beef, some tomatoes, some cucumber, maybe I'll have some Greek yogurt today. And then I won't eat again until about 5:30. And I'll probably have a piece of fish and some mackerel. I'll have a piece of cooked fish and some mackerel, and that's it. I'm not eating very much. I mean, and I'm not really that hungry because I drink tea, I have coffee. Like now I'm having coffee in the morning. But yeah, I mean, I gotta just kind of see. Gourmet bread and gourmet cheese. Well, if we were to get a girl like that, then I would say she's a keeper. She wants to stick around, but who knows? Women are finicky, man. Just remember that. I mean, I love being married most of the time, And sometimes I'm like, oh, Jesus. You know, I just want to go to sleep. Let me go to sleep, or let me just zone out and watch a movie. There's all types of situations. I don't mind giving my wife a small stipend since I live in my remote beach house and can afford it. Yesterday I had zucchini. Well, I have zucchini at home, and I will slice it up probably tonight, or with the burger, I will slice up the zucchini, put it on the side, and I drizzle a little olive oil on top of it. There's nothing wrong with giving your wife some money. I mean, you know, my wife, I took care of her for the first 7 or 8 years. And by took care of her, I mean I paid for everything, and I gave her money so she could live. She had her own money. She didn't have to go asking me, you know, could I have 100 baht? She didn't have to ask any of that. But now she's worked and made her money. She's working and making her money, and, you know, she's very proud of that, and she should be. All right, an all right hamburger, a quarter pound. Scott, if she still wants to have a girls' night out, is that normal for a Thai spouse? Yes. I mean, you know, if you can't trust her to go out, you know. I mean, listen, my wife is 48, and every once in a while she goes out. She goes out with her staff. They have staff meetings. They have staff parties. They have events. You know, it's not like, you know, they're like, most Thai women, I hate to say this, but, you know, especially if they get up to 40 or 50, they're not thinking about, where can I go get some strange dick? It's just not how they think. Maybe in their 20s they might, but even, I mean, if they're a decent chick, they're not thinking to themselves, I gotta go out and, you know, maybe if they haven't got laid in a while, they're thinking about, God, you know, I need it. But for the most part, I would say they're not out like thinking to themselves, I gotta go hunt me some dick. I gotta round up some dick because I'm just horny. That's not how they think. Well, it is intermittent fasting for me because I don't eat after 6 o'clock now, and if I drink water, I just sip like a capful, and that's it. I'm just like if I was preparing for a fight. That's how I am doing, except I'm not so harsh with the liquids. Boiled egg, fruit, dinner, yeah, salmon with veg. Yeah, exactly. That should be normal for all. Yes, good point. If you can't trust her to go out, then you need to reconsider your relationship. Definitely. I mean, why would you get married or even be with her if you can't trust her? I mean, if you can't trust her to go out where you're like, you know, if she says, oh, my phone was off because the battery went dead. And you're like, It's funny that the phone is off every time you go out. You know, then you go, okay, maybe there's something to it. But oh God, they are the worst, man, when it comes to going out. I've told my wife before, you know your staff better than you know me. She's like, looks at me like with a strange look. She's like, I don't sleep with them every night, you know, that kind of thing. Well, my wife doesn't do the class reunions, fortunately, because she, you know, was in the South, and they don't do that stuff. They're too busy living their life. But, you know, once in a while, I mean, you know, the other day, you know, she sent me a message, and she said, I'm getting ready to leave work now. It was like 8 o'clock. She does work late sometimes. She wrote, oh, you know, it's, I'm coming home, but on the way, I'm going to stop real quick and get something to eat. So, you know, they stop, you know, people driving her. She's got a girlfriend that drives her, or she's going, you know, in a taxi or something. And then, you know, she just stops and gets some something, or she gets some chicken, or she gets some fish, or whatever it is. What are you going to do? I mean, really, what are you going to do? You're going to get mad at her? Well, okay, you get mad at her, and then after a while, she's resentful that you're giving her a hard time about going out. You see, this is the thing that people don't understand. They think that, you know, all Thai women stay home and you know, they take care of their man, and this is what a lot of guys want, but they can't. They're like, man, I can't afford to give my wife the money that she's making at her job. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, so when she wants to go out, go have a good time, honey. Then she comes home, and you know, I'm waiting for her, you know, and she's, especially if she has a drink or two, she has a wine or two, and, you know, no problem. I mean, I can do that, you know. I mean, sometimes I get pissed at her, whatever, but most of the time, you know, I shut up. I don't say too much. I let her do whatever, and she comes back, you know, stronger than ever. So, you know, that's how it works. What I will say is that, you know, you think about Western chicks, and if you have a problem with a Western chick, usually they're either completely, don't talk to me, leave me alone, or they want to talk about it. We need to talk about this. We need to get this straightened out. Where Thai women are not really like that. At least the Southern women that I've been with a couple of them. And the other women, even the other women, now the Isan ones tend to be a little more emotional, at least outwardly. But the Southern ones, they're a little more quiet and reserved. And you just leave them alone. And then they'll calm down. That's what they usually do. Anyway. Let me see something here. Yeah, I mean, you know, I get the quiet treatment from my wife, and I know she's mad. I just leave her alone. I just leave her alone. And I don't want to sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, listen, I got shit to take care of. You know, like what the... You know... Thai lady be like, my food. Now, Bitmonger, you speak Thai? Just curious. Hey, by the way, do me a favor, leave me a like. Do me a favor, click the like. My wife always says that to me. She'll tell me sometimes, stop yapping. And I'm like, yapping? I'm like, honey, you need to listen. The problem I have is sometimes she doesn't listen. Is she a bitch? I would say maybe a day or two before it happens, maybe. She gets a bit grouchy. As it starts to end, no, definitely not. You just make her angry on purpose. I don't do that to my wife. The Western women always want to change the power dynamic of the relationship. Most of the time, man just wants a woman to let him be the man. Yeah, I agree. And I will say that, you know, for the most part, you know, my wife is very strong and mentally strong. She is extremely strong mentally. But sometimes she needs my help, and she'll ask for me to, you know, give her advice or whatever else it is. What do you think about this? That kind of thing. And I give it to her, and I tell her straight. I don't bullshit around. And I think she appreciates that, you know. Yeah, you gotta let them have their space, and I think that's so important. And even in America, you need to let them have their space, but you don't want to let them have too much space, especially in America. I think in America, the women, you give them too much space. Well, he doesn't love me. Oh God, you know. I mean, I don't want to. I wouldn't want to have to worry about that. And I told my wife a long, long time ago, if you cheat on me one time, I'm gone. You know. That's it. It's over. I don't want nothing to do with you because I can't trust you. Yeah, everybody appreciates their space. You know, listen, I watch the fights, and I'll tell her, you want to watch this? So-and-so did this, and so-and-so did this before the fight. They're talking about, she's like, I don't want to watch it. Okay. My wife is a teacher. She is back to work since yesterday. We live in Phnom Don Rock district. The school shares the schoolyard with the army. They are everywhere around here. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I would handle my wife being a teacher. Because I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, my wife will get a phone call at 10:30 at night, and it's some hotel. Oh, you've got to change the price on this and do this or do. She's got to jump up in the, you know, and I'm like, wait a minute, just don't answer the damn phone. Yeah, but it's important. I'm like, it ain't that freaking important. If it was that important, they should have told you during business hours. But that's the way they do business. And if you know anything about Thai businesses, when a person works for them, usually the person is kind of, I don't want to say beholden, but there is more of a bond with the company if they're going to stay with them for a long time than in most American companies. I mean, like, there is a real bond. And like was said earlier, hey, Sammy, how you doing? I'm going to say that to my women from now on. Yeah, I mean, you know, I try to make sure we got plenty of wine on hand. Make sure I get my wife nice and drunk sometimes. You cheat on me once, I'm out. That's the truth. You know, I mean, it would hurt me. It would hurt, you know, if she broke that trust and was with someone else. I mean, you know, after, I mean, it's like 27 years. And so, like, I don't know what to say, but it's an Asian thing, at least the same way in Japan. Scott, there are so many married women that I know in my American company, and I'm now suspicious of my own Thai woman when she wants to go out without me. I don't think you should be. Listen, you know, find out what she's doing, where she's going, and then think about the odds of if she's screwing around on you. And, you know, generally you'll figure out that the odds are she's not. If you can't trust her, you can't trust her. You know, if you can trust her, you can trust her. Listen, I trust my wife 99.9%. Because I will never trust anybody 100%. There's always that little tiny, tiny bit of doubt. And, you know, I think she knows if she was to do something. First of all, she knows I'd be gone. Second of all, she would lose a father. Although I would still be father to my sons. But she would lose a father in the sense that we're a family. And I think that's very important to her. The family is very important to her. And she's told me before, you know, sometimes I get mad at you, but we're a family and, you know. All right, whatever. Mike M, I found the Jappers to be way worse than Thais. If you can't trust her, then you end it, you know. I don't know. I mean, you know, I've thought about, hey, what if I went to Japan before and I was with some Japanese girl? Would she screw around on me? Would she be a good wife? And, you know, when you go in and you want to get married, to me, you go in looking at the odds. And you look at the odds and you say, the chance of her doing anything is really slim, then they probably are. But if she screws around and you find out about it, you go, eh. Now, there's a guy that I knew, very nice guy, you know, had his act together. He got married, got divorced, then he was with some other woman, and then they separated. And then he got married again. He got married, and then the woman died. Okay? The woman died, and the next thing you know, he's getting hit with all these bills because she was gambling. And it turned out that he, you know, had to pay all this stuff back. You know, that's pretty crazy when you think about it. Once they let you in most cases, all good. That's how it is with Thais in general. If you get in with a Thai guy, I mean, like, you know, as in business, you're really in with him. I'm talking about somebody who's honest, not somebody who's going to rip you off. But you get in with them, then basically you're in. And they're pretty loyal to you unless they, you know, I mean, if the prices are markedly different, then maybe they'll go with the other person. But for the most part, they're not going to leave you over a few cents or anything like that. My invite is respectfully decline. I'm not really thrilled about hanging out with a bunch of loud old bats. Well, fortunately, the women that my wife hangs out with are all in their 20s and 30s. Maybe they're in their 40s, but I can say she hangs out with some pretty cool chicks. And I got a couple of friends that are guys through her that are, I mean, you know, one guy is, he used to live in Germany. And I didn't know that. And then I found out and I go, so you speak perfect English? I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, yeah. And he goes, and I speak German and I speak Thai. I was like, wow. And I like the guy. He's a nice guy, you know. But most of the time, when she wants to go out, I don't go out. And I know if I go out with her, it might just be, you know, like, she's going to get drunk, I'm going to get drunk. I got to kind of watch her because she looks to me to take care of her when we go out. If she's going to get drunk, I got to take care of her, which I don't really want to do that. I'm not a babysitter. Now, if we're at home and she wants to drink 3 glasses of wine for her, she'd be smashed and she might throw up. But 2 glasses, okay. No problem. You trust yourself at 99%? Yeah, pretty much. There is a portion of me that doesn't trust myself, but now I've come to the conclusion that if I really want to do something, if I tell myself I'm going to do this, I will do it. Now, there are things and times when I've said, well, I think I'm going to do this, like going to Kakabarazzi. I'd love to do it. I would do it if I had the money. But when I look at it, I think, not really a smart move. So sometimes I put the cart before the horse. You know, talking about Japs being bitchy on their periods. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, man. Yeah, I mean, you know, they are beholden to their job, you know. I mean, you know, I understand, but I can tell you that the last time that I went to Pattaya, I was with 2/4 Korean, and I'm sure he can vouch for this. Now, you know, you see a good-looking girl every once in a while, but for the most part, man, I mean, I went into some places and I'm like, pig, slathered in tattoos and a pig, not attractive. Oh, she's kind of cute. Oh, God, look at that tattoo. Oh, that one's cute. Okay, so there's 1 out of 50. And that's how I look at it. Because I think after a while you develop a thick skin, and you're not looking at it like, I just want to get into punani. I mean, anybody can, and listen, you can go here in Bangkok if you want, you can get whatever you want. So why the need to go to Pattaya? Well, it's Pattaya. Big deal. You know, Pattaya is one of my places where I would say most people don't want to live in the heart of Pattaya. Okay, some people can live there and have a good life. They're happy. Okay, different strokes for different folks. But for the rather conservative guy who doesn't want some slutty girl and I'm not saying that all girls in Pattaya are sluts, not by any means of the, equation. But I would say there are a lot of guys that they're just like, they just want to screw their brains out. And, they come to Thailand, oh man, I'm going to be in Thailand, I can get so many girls. Yeah, you can, but after a while, I mean, listen, I did it. I was one of the guys in the beginning who I went and did damn near everything. You name it, I did it. I can't even count the women. I can't even count the number of multiple women. I wanted to do things and I did it. But that was a long time. But I still remember. I'm not stupid, The local young ladies I see here at the mall are far more attractive than anything I've seen in Pattaya. Oh, sorry, Pattaya. I misunderstood. Hey, so anyone remember when Pattaya came about? It was in the 60s, early 70s. It used to be a small fishing village, and slowly but surely it became an R&R destination for people in Vietnam. And then it kind of grew from that. And I think really, with the Indians and the Chinese there now, I think as far as the Westerners go, yeah, I mean, people like to go there. And I don't care if there's Indians around, but I don't want to go into an Indian pub. I don't want to go into a go-go that caters to Indians or Chinese. Just something about it, I just go, I'm out, man. Yeah, there is some good food in Pattaya, I will say that. They have good seafood in Pattaya, especially seafood with big tails and 2 legs. Yeah, but you know what? If you want seafood, you can get great seafood here in Bangkok. I don't mean at restaurants. I mean, you can just buy it yourself, and you get great seafood. As a result of the Vietnam War, yeah. Pattaya is good for a weekend. That's about where it ends for me. It's a magnet for sex tourists and broken men. Yeah, there's a lot of broken men there. Do the go-go's cater to specific clientele like that? Some of them do. Yes, for sure. I mean, like, there's always been go-go's that cater to, like, Japanese and Koreans. And, now there are the Chinese and Indians. Pattaya's been popular for many. I mean, I've been here 31 years, and when I came here, it was very, very popular. I think that Westerners are shifting away from Pattaya to Hue Hin. Yeah, they may be, and I've already said it, and I'll say it again. Hue Hin to me has gone into the toilet. I'd rather go to Cha'am than Hue Hin. I'd rather go to Prachuap than Hue Hin. And the only reason is because I do know what Hue Hin was like. And Hue Hin used to be the place where Thais went on the weekends for their holidays. Okay? That's where they went. That was their weekend getaway. That was their place when there was a 3-day weekend that they would go. And it may still be a little bit, but now it's mostly tourists, and it's set up for tourists, and there's a lot of traffic. The beaches are not spectacular at all, and to me, I'd rather go somewhere else. Well, I'm not saying you can't have a good time there, I'm just saying there are better places. I mean, really, I like the Deep South better, which is where I'm going. I mean, even like Chumphon, I like Chumphon, but I didn't like it that much. I know Rayong is fairly nice. No, Hue Hin is nothing like Pattaya. I will say that. But it is set up more for foreigners. And, you go there and I mean, I guess the infrastructure's in place now. But that doesn't mean that, I have to like it. I like the places where there's a little tiny bit, and that's about it. If I want a place to stay, I can find it. Now, I may go to Patani next month. I may. I'm not sure yet. That may be on the agenda. I don't know. But, you know, that's a place where, guess what? Not many foreigners go there. Yeah, I mean, that's nice down there. I personally don't. I mean, I liked Kochang, but now, I mean, first of all, my Gayang chicken place went out of business, which is horrible. Really. I used to eat there every single day. But to me, it's a tourist trap now. And I don't want to live in a tourist trap, honestly. That's the whole thing. I mean, I live in my village, and if I want to come here 5 minutes, okay, I'm here. There's some tourists walking around sometimes. Okay, fine. But if I want, like right now, if I say, okay, I'm done with my stream, I'm going home. I go home, I got peace and quiet. Especially today. You know. But to me, there is better. I know my wife is fixing up the house, and she's putting in this, and putting in that. I understand. But in my head, I'm like, I got to find an apartment or something down in Nakhon Si Tamarat, or, you know, what is it, the Kanom or Si Chon, or something where I can just go and just relax. Every day I go down to the beach, I sit there for an hour or two, I go swimming, I have breakfast, I come back, I take a nap, okay, then I go somewhere else, you know. Yeah, Korat, I mean, I don't think it's a bad town, but I just think there are better places to live. I don't know if the fighter that I know, who was the champion, who I mentioned before, I don't know if he still lives there, but I think he does. He's got some, he's got a kid now and a wife, and he said before, I don't know if he did this, I should go see him, but he said that he was going to open up a little market. Krabi, Krabi, to me, I don't want to live in Krabi because there's too many tourists. They all want to go to Railay. They want to go to every place around Krabi. It's just like if you're in, what's the name of that? You know, it's by the pier that I got to go to. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to go there. It's just, I don't like the East as much as I like the South. The South is where it is for me. I love the South. Yeah, I know in Krabi is great. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, okay, on the outskirts of Krabi or the next city over, whatever that is, which I don't really remember. Okay, yeah, you can go there, and I mean, it's great. But I don't want to go in the heart of Krabi. I mean, you know, it makes no sense. It's too touristy. Listen, I come here. Most days, I would say, if I come here 5 days, 1 or 2 days, somebody will walk up to me and go, hey man, or I know them and they come here and sit with me and we have a conversation. Okay, great. Now, I don't want to go somewhere and all these tourists are around everywhere. I don't want that. I don't understand why people can't understand this, but the reason is because I'm not a tourist. You may think I'm a tourist, but I'm somebody who lives here. This is my life. I have to deal with the day-to-day things here. I don't have to deal with You know, oh, I want to go to this place because it's so great. I got to go see it. I don't have to go see it. I can go see it whenever the hell I want. Most of the time, I've already seen it. My biggest complaint about Krabi area pork, not so common in the dishes of the restaurant. Ah, shit. Go to that grocery, dude. I mean, I don't want to go out to eat all the time. That's the thing. If I'm going to go out to eat, why do I want to always eat Thai food? I already went to Sichuan. I know Sichuan is very nice, it's very quiet. And I like it. And I like Khonum. And what I really loved is that when you go on the streets, there's almost nobody there. I'm not going to Pai. You forget about it. You might as well just forget about Pai. Scotty ain't going to Pai. Your cooking's pretty bad. Well, get yourself an air fryer. That's what I'll say. Get an air fryer. And it makes it really easy. I want to cook my zucchini. I want to cook up some lamb. Like I make bell pepper and I stuff it with lamb, minced lamb. With minced lamb with some onions and stuff like that. I put it in the air fryer. 10 minutes, it's cooked. The bell pepper is nice and browned. The lamb is nice. It's so good. Let me tell you, Sam, I started getting lamb a couple of months ago. And now every month I order from this place. And I order enough for the month. It's 60, 70, 80 bucks. But it's worth it because that food that I buy, that meat that I buy, and I buy some beef also. I usually buy a steak or two. I buy like some burgers. I buy like 12 pre-made burgers that are fantastic. Listen, I've been to Krabi many times, and I like Krabi. I just don't want to live there. I don't want to live in Ao Nang. I don't want to live in Krabi town. I just don't want to live there. I'd like to eat more beef and lamb. You should. I don't know if they have it in Japan. I know they have beef, but and the fish, no problem. I buy salmon all the time. It's like $3 for a piece of salmon. So it's frozen, but I buy that all the time. I buy grouper, I buy barramundi, and if I can, I'm gonna buy mahi mahi, but I haven't been able to find it yet. Wow. Well, I like that area, and quite frankly, I would probably live there. I don't know about Khonum though, and the reason I don't know about Khonum is that I don't know that I like the city as much as the town as much as I like in Sichuan. Sichuan is a little more quiet, a little more peaceful. And Khonum is very peaceful, very nice, but I just don't know about it. I'm just not sure, I really don't know. So, I'm very picky because if I'm going to move, then what's the point of moving if you're going to move somewhere and you're going to be like, well, I don't know about this place. I'm not sure about this place. Does this check all the boxes? And that's the thing. I need to come up with a checklist. I've done this before, where I come up with a checklist and I come out with some deal breakers. And a lot of the time, the deal breakers that, it's just, I like Nakhon Si Thammarat. I went to a beach there and it was very, very Thai beach. Very, very Thai beach. But I didn't like the way that the beach was. It was like the beach didn't do it for me. It was like a lot of pine trees and shit like that. And I'm like, I don't like this. So I'm picky about things. I know that. I can't find sliced roast beef. You should order it. Try to order it. Yeah, well, I don't care about that, Robert. That doesn't bother me. I do know some Thai, and I don't have a problem going down there and talking to people. And the problem is getting my wife to go down there. Now, if I went down and I got a really nice apartment, and I said, hey, I've got this nice apartment, I just rented it, and I want you to see it, she would probably go with me. She'd probably come down there with me. Well, that's why I don't want them going there. That's why, to me, it's good they don't go there. Because it means that there's a place where not many foreigners go. And I know that more foreigners go there now than in the last 2 years. Not necessarily because of me, but because a lot of people, some people are going there, and so they see it and they go, oh, I gotta go there. So, but there are a lot of places. I mean, I know people don't like certain areas in the South, but like I want to go to a couple of them. And there's one place that I'm going to go. Well, there's one place you can't stay. It's a national park. There's another place, well, you can stay there, but you can't stay there permanently. There's nothing permanent there. And it's not the kind of place you want to live. There's another place, you know, there's another one or two places, they're islands, and thinking about living on an island, I don't know, you know. Yeah, home is where the heart is, and home is where you make it. And, you know, that's the thing, right now my home is here. And, you know, like I'm always looking for the better place. It's like your wife, though. Is your wife looking for the better guy all the time? If she is, you shouldn't be with her. You know. What? I can't write the word. What is B-R-I? Oh, you mean... You can't write the word bridge? I don't know what. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. You know, that's the other thing, though. I've been to Koh Samui before a couple of times. It's like being in Phuket. I don't want to be in Phuket. Yeah, no, I know they are. I know. I didn't really register what you were saying, but yeah, that'll be nice. But you know, again, generally, Koh Samui is a place for tourists. A lot of tourists. And while it's not for every tourist, some expats live there. That's not the place for me either. And you know, the thing is 90% of the places are not for me. And the 10%, okay, maybe. I'm going in Korat City. Yeah, Koh Samui is paradise lost, overdeveloped. Yes, definitely. I mean, you know, I know it can be a nice place. You know, and I went there for about a week. We had a fight, and we had the ring right on the beach, and it was really nice. It was great. We had a great time. But you got to think about visiting there and living there are different. Yeah, so there you go. You already know this. And that's the problem. No place is perfect. And I know this. And I'm like, you know, maybe I should just be happy we live in a place that I'm happy living in. You know, Now, my wife, she wants a house, but like I keep telling her, what are you, crazy? Keep socking your money away, man. You don't want to have to pay towards rent. We don't want to have to put towards a mortgage and always have to pay that. Just keep saving your money, you know? And what that means for Sichuan also, it's going to build up Sichuan. Now, there are places along the coast that you can go. I don't know if they have places that people can live. You know, and that's the other thing. Well, that's kind of how I think, you know. I want to see something here. Okay, we got Kanom, Sichuan, Patong. Well, you can say overanalyze, but the bottom line is when you're going to live, that's a place where you want to stay for a long time. You don't want to have to bail. You don't want to have to go, well, you know, I've had enough of this place. It's been 3 months. I got to get out of here. I just don't want to do that. All right, let me see here. Where is the place where you can go down here? Tate Noi, no. Patalung, no. Songkla, that's the next place. Yeah, I mean, that's how I think about it. It's a very important thing. And, you know, for me and my wife, I want her to be happy. Now, she's happy at Surat. I mean, you know, she may say, you know, well, I don't have to be there all the time and that kind of stuff. But she likes it. You know, she likes... And I like it too. You know, we got all these durian a week or two ago. We got a lot of durian. It's probably 40 durian we got shipped to us. She sold half of them. I was like, you kidding me? She sold half of them. And then we took the other half away and she ate a couple of them. You know. No, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. I mean, it is true. It's important where you live. Now, maybe to you, it's not that important. Maybe you just figure, you know, as long as it's got a couple of things here, I'm fine. And I understand that because, like, I'm in the same situation. I'm in a village. You know, it's a Bangkok village, but I'm in a village. I got transportation nearby. I got good hospitals nearby. I got all kinds of things. What's happening? I mean, we have about 40 trees, 42, something like that. And they all generate fruit and they all generate good money. Now we have fish. We're going to have chicken, you know, and they'll be free range chicken. They'll be able to run around, but they will be fenced in. But still they're free range because the fence will go a long way. They can just run around. I don't have 40 trees in Bangkok. I have 40 trees in Suratani. And I'm making the video now. I'm putting it together slowly but surely. Jesus Christ, it's like 3 hours of footage and I got to cut it down to about 25 minutes. So it's a lot. I mean, just the drone footage alone, I got a little bit of drone footage. I'm like, I don't want the drone footage to be more than like 15 seconds. And I got like, you know, 30 minutes of drone footage, 45 minutes of drone footage. We got all kinds of stuff on the farm now. I mean, it's just crazy. And what's funny is that I do have some drone footage. I have drone footage that shows the farm. It was about 6 or 7 years ago, and there wasn't anything on it. Yeah, but the problem is there is durian everywhere. So yes, people want it, but it is everywhere. So they're very particular about the grades of durian. You know, it's got to be a good fruit in order to get top dollar. It's got to be the right kind of durian, which it is for us, but it still has to be a good piece of fruit. Which, if you see how they harvest it, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty, you know, I like it. It's nice down there. And you know, could I live there? Yes, I could. I could get into it and decide to live there. But for me, I don't know what it is. Maybe growing up in South Florida, it's just, I just like being by the water. It's not even that I got to go swimming every day, although that's nice. In Ecuador, I went swimming almost every single day. I either went in the pool or I went in the ocean. And it was great because at 4 o'clock, I'd be like, hey, boys, we're going swimming. Let's go. I tell my wife, come on, let's go. And she doesn't want to go in the ocean, but she'll go up to her knees or something. You know, she's like, I don't want to go in there. There's sharks. I hear Eastern Rail slows way down in slow season. Lots of places to eat shut down. I've been told no, because of that. Chinese come here, buy it up before they even harvest. Yeah, not down where we are. They're not doing that there. I mean, I went to the place where they're buying it, and yeah, they're not pre-buying it. But probably what we're gonna do the next time that we harvest. Well, I don't know. You know, when all the 40 trees are ready to harvest, we'll probably have a company come in and just cut them all down, and then we don't have to do anything, because that's a lot of work, man. You know, you don't know. You got 100, 150 pieces of fruit on the tree, and to cut them down is absolutely time-consuming and difficult and dangerous. For me, again, it's a tourist zone. I don't want to live there. That's just for me. It's beautiful in some places, but I don't. If I'm getting away from here, what do I want to go to a place that's full of tourists? I don't want that. I didn't come to Thailand to be around tourists. And I know that sounds really particular, but I don't care. And, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll just end up going to the south, and, you know, one day I'll just say, okay, well, we're moving there. I don't know. I have no idea. I like the Koh Chang in the south, the one that's near Koh Payam. That's what I like. I like that place. But again, it floods. There, it's not perfect. You know, it's not a perfect place, and it's gonna flood. And you know, you're gonna be living in some bungalow. There's no like apartment complexes or anything like that. It's like you're gonna have to rent a bungalow from a guy, and you have like, maybe you'll have one room and a bedroom if you're lucky, or maybe you'll just have a bungalow. You know, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I guess it depends, you know. But that's not. I mean, that island in particular, Koh Chang, is good for a couple of days. I was there for 4 days, and maybe I could have stayed another day, and that's about it. Yeah, I need to go home. When I go home in a couple of months, I'm gonna buy up some Tommy Bahama stuff for sure. If I crave food, I go to the grocery, and if I can't get it there, I buy it online and it's shipped to me. You know, so. Well, Tommy Bahama beach chair. I don't have my Tommy Bahama shorts on. But, you know, they got a whole clothing line and cologne and all kinds of stuff, so, you know. Listen, you got in Pattaya, you got British shop. They got all kinds of lamb and steak and all kinds of good stuff. I've had them deliver to me in Bangkok before. So, you know, they will do it. And they sent it in a cooler, you know, a styrofoam cooler with dry ice in it. It was great. And it was same day, baby. You know, I ordered in like 9 o'clock in the morning, and at like 4 o'clock they delivered. So it was pretty good. I like these shops online that you can just, you go online, you order from them, boom. That day or the next day you got your order. I mean, you know, you can get damn near anything now off, you know, online. I used to live in Udon Thani. I lived there for a year. It's been a while since I've been there. I mean, I went there when I went to Bunkan and Nong Khai, and I did go there. And you know, I don't think there's too many tourists there. I just don't want to live there. No offense to Udon Thani, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to live in that region. I don't want to live in Isan. That's one thing. I'd rather live in the south. Now, you know, that's about it. I don't know where else to say I want to live. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else in Thailand. I don't want to live in the east. I just don't. My mind is made up. I don't want to live in Isan. I don't want to live in Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai because of the burning season. Now, if they got that under control, that would be a different story. You know, but I can be in the south and be right next to the ocean. I can, you know, I can be a short hop away from an island or whatever. And I'm actually thinking about starting to scuba dive again. So I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot to do, you know. So I mean, that's the good thing. Pai is where you want to live, Robert. You want to live with all the Israelis. Right? Isn't that how it works? You're dying to live next to the Israelis. Now, I would say Kanchanaburi is very, very nice. I do like it. Again, I don't want to live in the city. Hey Scott, you're from Long Beach? I think I am wrong. Yes. I'm from Miami, but I lived near Huntington Beach. I lived in Redlands. I lived in San Bernardino. I lived in Huntington Beach. I lived out at Fullerton. I lived in a lot of places in California. I was in Palm Desert when I moved out here. Yeah, I mean, you would never see me in a pair of elephant pants. That's not going to happen. No elephant pants for me. Hi, Scott. What is this? Hang on. Hi, Scott. Just curious. Are there a lot of bike riders there? Bike riders there for fitness? Do they have bike paths for fitness biking around Bangkok? Not really. There are some, but not many. There is a biking community here. I think Bruce, if Bruce was in the stream, he could tell you more about it. But Bruce is he's an avid biker. I don't know how much he's biking now, but I know that he did bike quite a lot. And there is indeed a biking community. If you go to, what is the name of that? Hang on, let me see here if I can find it. It starts with I think it starts with an H. Here we go. Yeah. Hario Coffee. There's a Hario Coffee. Now, I don't remember the street, but there's a Hario Coffee where bikers come. Bikers as in bicycles. And that's what they do. They go there and, you know, after they've been biking or in the middle of their route, they stop there and have a coffee and all that other kind of stuff. Thank you very much, LCTR fan. Very nice. The first one of the day. Ooh, yeah, I'm kicking ass. I made $1.99. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's all kinds of... Now, you know, in Bangkok, it's a little bit different because the sidewalks are shit, most of them. And, you know, depends on where you are. But if you go out into some of the villages and out into some of the smaller cities, definitely they have them. You may get a pair when you want to be an asshole. Yeah. What were we just asking about? Oh, Hario, yeah. Yeah, Hario, there's a Hario, I think that's the one that we went to, and that is near Soy 33, a place called Papina Pizzeria, or whatever it's called. You ain't gonna see me in any, yeah, go to the Green Lung, that's the place to go. But it means you gotta go across the water. You know, I mean, whatever. If you wanna make a trip out of it, that's what you do. But in Bangkok, I wouldn't say you got to really pick and choose where you're gonna go. It's not like you can just set out and start riding and boom, there's bike path. That's not how it works. I have a friend from my hometown who rides in competition mountain biking, living north of Chiang Mai. Yeah. I wear elephant pants because I have a... Well, that contradicts what you've said in the past. You have a big ass? Is that why you wear it? I don't know. I'll tell you what I like, honestly. I like the rowing machine. In the gym, there are 2 rowing machines, and man, I used to love that thing. Because you get, your back expands, it's a whole body exercise, and it doesn't take forever. If you do 15 to 30 minutes on a rowing machine, at a good clip, you know, you do a minute where you're rowing fast, a minute where you're medium, maybe 30 seconds slow, you do that kind of a routine, man, that's a good workout. But the reason that I always thought about it, because I always want to go on a boat somewhere. Now, it's impossible to take the Chao Phraya from the mouth of the Chao Phraya all the way down to the ocean. Impossible. You're going to need to, it works your abs, it works your legs, it works your forearms, it works your triceps, it works everything. The only thing is that you can't go down the Chao Phraya the whole way. You have to portage out of there, and sometimes you're going to have to drive somewhere, and, you know, it's a pain in the ass. So that's kind of why, you know, it's really not in the, it's not in the plans. Get off at Bahtman station, take a motorbike down to the end of Sanpawat, take the river ferry. Yeah. It's very easy to get to that place. It's not a big deal. Although usually I take a long-tail boat. Now, isn't that a surprise? Do Thais don't like Indians? They like their money. The like is all subjective. You know, really. Do Thais like white people? Do Thais like black people? Do Thais like Chinese? I mean, you know, Depends on the person. Now, I know my wife doesn't particularly like them, but I know that she deals with some and she doesn't have any problems with them. They're fine. But she doesn't like the stereotypical Indian that, you know, thinks they can get every girl. I saw a video not long ago, and I don't usually watch the videos in Thailand, but I thought, oh, I gotta see what this guy's all about. And I looked at his video, and he's talking to an Indian guy, and he's got an Indian guy with him. Now, apparently the guy had his girlfriend or his wife or something filming him. And the Indian guy, one of the Indian guys, the guy that he wasn't talked to, walked over to his wife and was like, hey, what's your deal, honey? Hey, are you single? And he was hitting on her in front of the guy. And the guy's like, hey, that's my wife, man. What are you doing? Like, have some... The guy didn't have any courtesy. He had no boundaries at all, you know? And it's just like... Yeah, the longtail was fun. I mean, I've done it a couple times, and it's fun. I've gone to that island, and I probably streamed there maybe 3 times. Yeah, I think that's what it was. You know, I don't particularly like that guy, but I don't dislike him. He's just doing his thing, you know. But yeah, if you go there, and also you can go to like called Crit. That's not a bad place. The boats, the long-tail boats. I don't care about the long-tail races, Jim. I really don't care about them. I don't care about that much, to be honest, but I don't care enough to go there to watch them. I just don't want to do that. Asians like Asians and whites. Asians are one of the most racist, sad but true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, okay, got it. The boats with the really long shaft for the prop. Yeah. They're pretty cool. They're cool boats to go in. In Kanchanaburi, I've taken longtail boats with me and my nephews and niece and my mother and my sister and my wife and my kids. We took 2 longtail boats, and Jesus Christ, it was funny having my wife. Hey, thank you, Charles. Oh, I can't leave him a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Joke D. Hopefully you're doing well. You know, people always say to me, how you doing, man? What's going on? Everything good? You know, like, I know there's a lot of problems in Thailand, but to be honest, the number of good things outweigh the problems. And that's still how I look at it. Now, the banking thing, it's a little bit of a, you know, like, to me, it's kind of a red flag. Oh, you want to transfer more than 50,000 baht? Well, it's not really transfer 50,000 baht. It's transfer 50,000 baht through your digital app. Now, I had a guy just lay into me yesterday. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You can just transfer online. I go, well, do you know that out of the 4 places that I went, let me think here. I went to 5. Actually went to 5. 4 of the places do not have an online presence anymore. In other words, you cannot go to www.sebeasy.com, www.kashicorn.com. Now, Kashicorn has a website, but if you go to the website, there is nowhere to log in, so you can't have it. Now, Thai Military Bank does allow it. Thai Military Bank sent me a message, and I have my paperwork today, and I have to go to them and get my face scanned. Now, that's just to transfer over 50,000. However, there are ways, whether it's calling in and getting an approval, whether it's going to an ATM or going into the bank. Bangkok Bank will allow me to transfer 2 million baht. But a lot of the other places, it's 200,000. That's, if you do it through the ATM or you get your facial recognition. If you don't get your facial recognition, you can't transfer more than 50,000, at least on the digital app, which makes it very easy to do. So there are not even bank URLs for some of the banks that I went to, and I'm like, they don't want you to be online. They want you to be on their app. So that's the way it goes. You know, that's what you got to do. What about ninjas? African Americans in Thailand. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I mean, there are people that like them and there are people that don't like them. Banking issues is going to get worse, brother. As shit gets worse, there'll be capital controls. I suggest you get it. Listen, I don't need digital money. I know you might have got rich from it and all this other stuff. I don't need it. What you taught on the Thai Visa forum? What's you taught on it? Used to be an awful place. What's your thoughts on the Thai Visa forum? Used to be an awful place. Well, I don't go back there because I think it's horrible. I think there's just a lot of people, well, he should do this, he should do it. Listen, I got shit because I put up a video. I met with immigration. They called me and said, Scott, will you do a video for us about overstays? This is when the overstays, they started cracking down, and they started saying to people, if you overstay and we catch you, you will be banned from Thailand for 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, whatever. So I did the video. I put a link to it, and I said, hey, here's a video, blah, blah, blah. Man, I got so much shit. And I was like, well, fuck these people. I'm trying to help, and all I get is a bunch of, who the fuck are you? Who are you to put up this? And then finally, the guy who owned the Thai Visa, the website at the time, he doesn't own it anymore. He said to them, listen, this guy's a journalist. They called him because they trust him. And he's doing what he can. Why are you guys giving this guy so much shit? Oh, well, he should have told us that before. And it's like, fuck off. I was like, oh my God, is this how people want to be? You want to jump all over me because I'm telling you? I met with Thai immigration. Now, I should have filmed it, I guess. And I think I got a little bit of footage, but that was it. So my thoughts on that forum are, there's a lot of guys who they know everything, and they think they know everything, and they think they tell you, and you better understand that. I understand. Maybe they think they got experience or whatever, but to me, it's a toxic place. And I can't do it now. I was going to show you guys, I did a video. It's coming up. Let me see here if I can figure it out when it is, because I have it scheduled. Yes. What's today? Today's the 19th. Well, it's not tomorrow. It's on Friday. It's called Stop Scrolling, Start Living, the Thailand Playbook. That's on Friday. Tomorrow is Thailand 2025. Is it still, or is it just too much hassle? But on Friday, I have this Stop Scrolling. And it's because I look around and, everywhere I look, people are looking down on their phones. I go on the BTS, I go on the MRT, and I look. This is what people are doing. I'm sitting in the BTS, I look down, everybody sitting on the seat is looking down at their phone. Everybody in the next car looking down at their phone. They're standing up. Most people, they're on their phone. I'd say 90% of the people are on their phone with their heads down. They don't know anything. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, God, it's gotten to the point where it's really bad. And I used to walk along, and if I'm walking along, some guy's walking with his head down, he's looking at his phone. I just kind of went like this, and stuck my elbow. Oh, sorry. Elbowed him in the chest. And, we would jog them out of their fog. It used to piss me off, man. Now I'm just like, whatever. You know, well, and you know, now it's even worse. If you wanna do something, you gotta have a phone now. You know, you have to. It is a must. I forgot what I did, and it was asking me for my phone number. No, that wasn't it. Not the Patty thing, because I got Patty certification. I got certified a long time ago. It's supposed to be good for life, and I haven't been able to find it. But there's something, and it was asking me for my phone number. And it's like, if you don't have the phone number, you can't do it. You can't use their app. And I'm like, that's kind of bullshit. But, you know, nowadays, they just expect everybody to have a phone, which is kind of bullshit. I shouldn't have to have a phone. And so I started thinking about it, and then I looked at how to kind of disconnect. And that's what I did. There are things you can do. Like, I took the only apps I have on my phone that you can see. I have every app on my phone that I need, but you can't see it. You have to search for it. The only apps that you can see are like the phone. Let me think. The phone. I don't even have my mail showing. I have Wise because that's my main financial thing, and I have like 2 others. I have 4 things, and they're down at the bottom. They are down at the bottom. And that's where there's a little space that they give you for you to put 4 apps down in the bottom. So that's all I have. You can't see any others. I turned off all notifications. I'm like, what do I need this shit for? What is an emergency? If I want to upload something, it's on me. If I don't look and search through Facebook, I don't look and search through Instagram, I might check it once a day. And I'm like, what do I need all this shit for? I don't need the social media. So I've just decided now, you know, I got to disconnect, man. Well, that's very true, Jim. You know, most of them, they've been here 2 months, and they're like going, okay, can I get some money now? Can you pay me $90 an hour for my consultation? It's like, what the fuck? You're an expert? No, you're not. Dude, you don't know shit. I know more in my little pinky. I've forgotten more than you'll ever know. And, you know, I hate to say that, but that's the truth. Come live here for a while and see if you don't know anything. You wouldn't know I had a phone in public. True. I'm Patty certified, but I don't plan on doing any more scuba. Well, I may. I don't know. There's a chance. Took my wife out to dinner for her birthday last week. She forgot her phone at home. It was nice to see her physically socialize. Yeah, you ever feel like you got your phone and you're like, you forget it, and then you're like, oh my God, I gotta go back home. I gotta get my phone. I don't feel that way. Now, the only thing I use my phone for, I mean, I'll be honest, I use it to listen to music. I use it to stream. And I use it to check my YouTube videos. Usually I check my YouTube videos in the morning and in the evening. And I use it to bank with, you know, mobile banking, which hopefully in the near future I will stop because I'll have the Wise card from the United States, and that will help me alleviate those problems. And I'll be using my U.S. accounts, and I'll just figure out every month how much cash do I need to transfer to America, to Thailand, and I'll transfer those funds, and that'll be the end of it. I won't have to do anything else after that. I just use my card, and everywhere I go, here you go. You know, make things easier on me. Don't be a Luddite. It's important who you pay attention to. I just opened a Fidelity account. What a mess their site is. Holy hell. Big learning curve. Why'd you open the account then? I wish I still had my original Patty scuba license with my 20-year-old photo. Looked like Keanu Reeves when I was 20 and skinny. Yeah, I wish I had my card too. And I just emailed Patty last night and I said, listen, I am certified through Patty. Here's my, they ask you for a bunch of information. I said, here it is. But I don't see anything on your site. I tried registering. I don't know what's going on. And so now I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. I almost like the Fidelity app better than their desktop. With Robinhood app, it's almost too simple. And their charts suck. Legend has real charts, but I still use Webull charts. Maybe a lot of guys retired to Thailand and then the rose-tinted glasses get muddy. And then they're angry men. I see too many of these Farang when traveling. I don't know. My friend who went to Cambodia kind of got sick of this place and just went, I've had it with the Thais. But he really wasn't angry. I would say he's just fed up. Tom, he's not angry at all. I mean, he's happy. I got another friend that I bump into I got a couple of friends. They're all very happy. None of them are like bitter old men. So, I'm good with that. For sure, there's a lot of salty characters. You find most of them in Pattaya. Yeah, I would say if you go to Pattaya, you got to be careful. You never know what's going to happen. But listen, in Bangkok, it's a little more spread out. The Thais are just going about their daily business. In Pattaya, the business is the foreigners. That's the big business in most places. I'm not saying everywhere, but I was certified by Patty over 40 years ago. I definitely need a refresh course. Well, so do I. I was certified 47 years ago. So that tells you something. And I dove for about 7 years, and that was about it. Yeah, it's a mess, I agree. Just determine what your mission is first, make that happen. As things come up, call them. They're available 24/7, but question what they tell you. Oh, maybe they don't like younger people. Huh? I don't know about that, man. The people that I know, what they don't like is idiots. They don't like people who are just like, they think they know everything about Thailand and they don't know shit. That's what my friends don't like. But as far as being younger, none of them have a problem with the younger people. That's a bunch of hogwash for the most part. Let's see here. I think they require it. Well, I don't know if they require it, but they strongly suggested, and I definitely. The problem is I've had punctured lungs. I've had a punctured lung twice. And when you have that, you're supposed to go in a tank and get tested. But it's been like many years. So I don't know, and I'm going to talk to them about that. I do it because I do options, a lot of cells and puts, and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm not involved in that shit. Nate, what are you, like? Many expat retirees in Chiang Mai? Yes. Jim and Scott, I thought Patty was way back then, was just holding your breath underwater. You're funny. Those Farang who come over here are miserable, will be miserable wherever they are, they carry it with them. Yeah. Chiang Mai is nice, but the pollution is sane for new months of the year. Robinhood does not pay interest on collateral you put up when you sell puts. Okay. So yeah, I mean, for me, Chiang Mai is a no-go. And my wife, listen, you can get a nice house out there. You can get a really nice house. For like 3 million baht, you get a really nice house. Nicer than a 5 or 6 million baht house here. And if you want to go out a little ways, oh my God, you get like a friggin' mansion. But you're still going to be in the filthy air. I mean, and not that Bangkok is perfect all the time, but, I don't even know what the Thai baht is right now. 32.51, which is, I'll take it. I will take it. What is this guy saying? I can't even hear him clearly. I don't have my microphone today, so, you know. I got my pet on this with paddy course on the creek in Orange County. Keep my open water secure. I have no idea. I did my the certification portion in South Florida, in Miami, and also Pennicamp Park, John Pennicamp Park. And then when we went for the open water portion of it, because I did the open water thing, we went to the Bahamas, and that's where I got that. So I don't know what they're gonna, I have no idea what they're gonna do, but you know, I think about it, and for like $100 you can go, well, I mean, $100 just for the scuba diving, maybe another 100 to go there and stay there at 1 or 2 nights, and then, you know, get food and everything, maybe $250, $300. You can go scuba diving and have a good time. You can take a couple dives, you know. But I want to see, you know. I went in 1978. And I kept going till about 1985. And that was it. I was done after that. I've been to some cool places. I mean, I went to the Caymans, the Bahamas, John Pennicamp. Those were really nice places. Saw hammerheads, nurse sharks. I mean, all over. It was pretty cool. 1994 in Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, you know, there is something freeing about it. Now, when I see how many sharks are out there, I'm like, yeah, I gotta be careful. You're not just like, oh, look at the little starfish, bam, and some great white just nails you from behind, and that's it, it's over. Sorry, my life is over now. I mean, you know, you got to look at the reality of things. So, where I'm going, supposedly there are no sharks. Yeah, you know, the Great Barrier Reef is something, I mean, you know, there's part of me that I would love to go diving there. But man, you know, they got so many great whites, and there are so many great whites near the shore. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. It's like, I don't want to go near the water in Australia. I don't want to go anywhere near like marshes and ponds and, you know, lagoons and stuff. I don't even want to be near it. You ever upgrade the RAM and hard drive? No, I haven't. I like that Youngbloods guy. He's got a boat, and you know, he's. I think, you know, he comes from some money, and he's got a lot of good things. But yeah, I know. No, but you never dive alone. You always dive with a buddy. But I mean, I went night diving a couple of times in the Bahamas. Jesus Christ, man! I think about it now, and I'm like, I must have been out of my mind. My dad's like, oh yeah, let's go. We'll go down with the, you know, we got lights and everything, and I'm like, shit, bricks. I know there are. I know there's sharks everywhere. Well, it's not necessarily the great whites. It's also the bull sharks and the tiger sharks and the hammerhead and the mako, and you know. If you're gonna get bit, you're gonna get bit, and the chance is not very. The chance is not very high, honestly. So, well, all I'll say is, looking back, I'm like, well, I did it, and that's about it. I don't want to do it again. You know. Yeah, bull sharks are no joke, and you know, they go into fresh water too, which makes them even more deadly. have a video of a juvenile shark swimming past my leg at PP. Yeah, well, like I said, when I went in the Florida Keys, there were ample number of sharks. And the instructor was like, all right, we got to keep an eye on these. And that was about it. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. I thought about getting certified in Indonesia. It is a little cheaper, and it's a completely different vibe than here. I want to see a giant squid. And you know what I really would like to see is, what are those, what the hell are they called? Oh, I can't remember the 400-year-old shark. Greenland shark. Potentially reaching 400 years or more, making it the longest living vertebrae. Holy shit. Crazy. That's crazy. A sea monster. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want to deal with a giant squid. Might just make mincemeat out of you, but I would like to see one. You know, they're very difficult to come across. The same with the Greenland shark. You don't run across them all the time, but just thinking about how old they are, it's unbelievable. I mean, even if you get one that's 300 years old, you're like, let's see, 300, this is 2025. Jesus Christ, they were here before the revolution. Yeah, the Greenland sharks stay very, very deep. You know, anytime you're in the water, you're not at top of the food chain, man. It's like going into the jungle where there's, you know, 50 tigers in that region in 100 square miles or whatever, and there's 50 tigers all competing for territory, and you're there. Or in the Sundarbans where, you know, you go looking for honey, and they're right there on the edge, and if they decide to run across the water and go get you, you're done. Does Greenland sharks eat polar bear? Yeah, I think I saw that too. The polar bear are pretty scary too. There's a lot of things out there, man. They'll get you. So when I think about it, I go, yeah, living in the city ain't all that bad. I mean, even living out in Surat, I think to myself, Jesus Christ. You know, you're out in Surat and there are snakes everywhere there. You just don't see them most of the time. And you go reach, you know, you just forget one day and you go reach into the weeds, boom, you get bit, you know. And then you got to go through that pain and agony. Oh my God. Psycho. You know, you get bit by a cobra or oh God, a pit viper. Jesus Christ. You don't want to get bit by a pit viper. I once saw an albino polar bear. It was black. That's worse because you can't see them after the dorsal fin goes below. No, they eat turtles. Doesn't help. Yeah. Dude, I saw a damn cobra 3 days ago. Still freaks me out. Wow. You know, I've been to the what is it called? The snake farm at Henry Dunant, the Red Cross. I was surprised because they didn't know what the anti-venom is called with, I think it's called Profab. And they use lamb to get the blood and to make the anti-venom. And they didn't know what it was. I was like, holy shit. But they just they just milk those snakes so that they can make anti-venom there. And they had all kinds of snakes, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, if you just went into the pit, they released the tops, you'd be in there with, you know, 100 deadly snakes, man. Once when we were trolling out in the ocean. My father and I don't know, my mother might have been there, and my little sister. That's what, we usually all went out. My father's trolling. I mean, he was very serious, and he had 2 big rods, and he's trolling. And, we're trying to catch, like, sailfish and marlin and dolphin and grouper. We're trying to catch some big fish. The grouper, but we're trying to catch some big fish. And all of a sudden, the tiger shark came up from behind, and then he just went down, and that was the end of him. But he came up for about 10 seconds, and me and my father were like, we couldn't believe it. It was psycho. We have cottonmouths here. They don't bother me, but I've seen a black racer before cover about 50 feet in 1 second like a missile. It freaked me out. Yeah, they're pretty quick. Them sea snakes are gnarly, man. You went in. They're not going to go after you and try to attack you. They may be kind of curious, but most of them, and especially if you take them out of the water, not that I'm recommending that, but if you take them out of the water, they're like a limp noodle. They can't even move. I just saw something about a sea snake yesterday, and really wild. As soon as you put them in water, boom, they're able to move around. They're very quick, but they don't usually attack humans, and they have short fangs, so they have to chew. Just like with fish, they have to chew a lot, and in order to envenomate the person. I used to be really into sharks. I used to be into snakes. To a lesser extent, lions and tigers. I mean, I really studied them when I was young. But now, it's like, And, listen, if it came to a sea snake, I'm not handling them. There's no way that I'm going to be handling a sea snake. I leave that to the professionals, the people who don't mind if they get bit, because I do mind. So, what's a hooser? I don't know anymore. I haven't been in America in too long. I don't remember what they're called. I thought you were in like Montana or something. Well, in Florida, they have cottonmouths, but they also have coral snakes, rattlesnakes. What else is it? Not the cottonmouth, copperheads. Oh man, they're walking by with these ice cream cakes. They look so good, and I'm like, God. So, when I get out of here, I'm being like, okay, so what can I go home and eat? We got fish, we got burgers, we got a lot of things. We got steaks, but I'm like, what do I want? There's a Facebook group called Snakes of Beason that I belong to that will quickly identify. I don't know who is the guy's name. I forget the guy's name. But he used to have he still has the channel, I think. I don't know if he's active on it. But he has a wife that's like she cooks food and she has her own channel. I don't remember what the guy's name. Vern. I think his name is Vern. And nice guy, I saw him catch like 25 baby cobras in a guy's house under his bed. It was absolutely gnarly. Yeah, that was pretty gnarly, but he identified I had a green snake that was eating a dacaw, and I didn't know if it was poisonous or not. I wasn't sure. So I told my kids, I said, listen, don't get too close. Stay back. I don't want you getting close to it. Now I got a little bit closer, but not close enough where he could eat me, and he had the dacaw like, almost all the way in. And so I took a video. I still have the video up now. And I think you could probably find it if you searched for it. But I had him identify the snake, and it was a green snake, and it was poisonous, but it's not the kind of, and not the strength of poison that, unless you are completely allergic, most of the time if they bite you, you might get like a rash, or you might not feel well for an hour or two, but really it's not all that strong, the venom. It's strong enough to kill lizards, but that's about it. Yeah, a water moccasin is a cottonmouth, definitely. I encountered rattlers twice while hiking in the Santa Ana. Yeah, I encountered coyotes too when I went on I used to go run about 6 miles in the hills because it was good. The hills were really good because you go up and down, up and down. So I used to go run when I was like in my 20s. And a couple times I saw coyotes, snakes. I mean, it was just everything out there. I honestly grew up with many black widows in Dana Point, never a problem. I've heard the bite is very rare. The brown recluse is much more dangerous in Australia. On a side note, I got bitten by a pretty big spider in Sapa recently. It took 3 weeks to heal. You know who got bit by a snake? Patty Bob. He got bit by a snake, I think twice. He had a big hole in his leg from it. As the population grows, at least here, I don't see as many snakes or insects like grasshoppers, lightning bugs, scorpions anymore. Yeah, I used to have a scorpion. Fred was his name. Me and my buddy I was in the service with, we had this, no, it was not a scorpion, I'm sorry. It was a tarantula. And we used to, like hold it and let it out and let it walk on us and stuff. It was pretty freaky. Now, black widows I want to stay away from, although they're not generally deadly. Although they can be, but most of the time they're not. The brown recluse, I don't know about that, but I think probably it can be very, very dangerous. So I don't want to be grabbing that stuff. And, sometimes I see spiders in my bathroom, and I'm like, fuck this, man. I throw the water on them, flush them down the drain. I've been bitten by a scorpion. Damn, that felt like burning lava for about 2 hours. Yeah, most scorpions, they're not gonna kill you, but they will make you feel like shit. Oh yeah, cobras scare the hell out of me, man. And they're smart, they're long, they're big, and it's hard to judge their bite rate, the length that they can bite you. It's pretty difficult to figure that out. And usually it's like half the body length, but I think they're able to scoot forward, and so they can, down in the south, huh? Well, considering I live down there, I don't particularly like that, but I haven't seen any yet. Yeah, some of the rattlers are pretty deadly though, but a cobra is gnarly. Let me see something. Oh, it's neurotoxins and cytotoxins, which neurotoxins, they disturb the you know, your nerves, your nerve function, and cytotoxins damage the tissue, where hemotoxins damage your blood. That's like a viper. Yeah, hemotoxin and myotoxin. So they affect your blood and the ability for your blood to coagulate. And the crates are neurotoxins, pre-synaptic and post-synaptic toxins. It leads to paralysis, Jesus Christ, which what happens is you're not able to breathe. And it affects your brain, and it's a lot of other things. But sometimes it also affects your blood as well. Unfortunately, there is a very little concern for the crate to become endangered. Native to South Asia, widely distributed across India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. They're only about 2 feet, 3 feet long. But they are gnarly as hell, man. I don't like crates. Oh man, that smells so good. Causes necrosis from the blood, congealing if not treated right away. Quite a few amputations from cottonmouths in the Carolinas. I had a huntsman spider in my house. It's probably 5 inches across. I'll tell you what's scary. The Australian outback. Yeah, rainforest in the north. Everything out there bites and kills you. Our safety meeting while training, they're scared the shit out of me. Yeah. And like I said, if you're in Australia in the outback, don't go by the water, man. Just don't go near it. All right, you have a good one. Take it easy, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful in Australia, and that's what's kind of, well, I mean, if you're going out in the outback, you got to be careful. That's just the bottom line. Well, everything in Australia wants to kill you. Yeah, the drop bear, Ferocious. They're ferocious. They'll get you. Anyway. Well, I think we went a little bit long today. Wow. Longer than usual. 2 hours plus for an impromptu stream. No topic. I don't know if I'm going to stream on Thursday or if I'm going to change it. I don't know. I don't know, man. You know, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and I try to organize things. And sometimes they're really organized, and everything's, you know, I'm all together, and sometimes I'm not. I still need to figure out when am I coming back in the South, and I have to get my return ticket to come back. That's also business class, but I got to find out if there are flights available on the date that I want to come back, or dates I want to come back. And so, you know, I'm going to try to stream at least once from each place. I don't know. We'll see. And if I go to Patani or somewhere else in this deep south, Yala, or, you know, whatever it is, I could stream from there. I don't see why not. The 5G works there. We'll see. I don't think I'll be going to Narati Wat, but we'll see. Anyway, we're almost at, what is this now? 2 hours and 17 minutes? Let me think here. 2 hours and 27 minutes. Oh my God. Well, we got about 2 minutes left, so I will start to say my goodbyes. Here we go. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. On behalf of the channel, I just say that today's group of people posting were among the best of any recent chat. Yeah, pretty much. We didn't have any trolls in here, anything like that. I don't know why, and I don't really care. But you know, I'm getting plenty of trolls in my comments, for videos. I get a lot of trolls, and some of them are very passive aggressive. So I'm like, does that guy mean something by that? And you know, it is what it is. And after all this time on YouTube, you know, most of the time nobody gets to me. I'm bulletproof, baby. Thanks for the random talk. Yeah, no problem. No problem, no problem. If you're going down there, take a tourniquet. Thank you. You have for the channel. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That is something that I think I should invest in. But, you know, it's like, then I need to buy a bigger backpack. And probably tomorrow I'm going to try to find out. I know that they have lifted the restrictions on drone flights, which is fabulous. But the place I'm going, you got to get a permit to fly the drone in the place where I'm going. And then another place, I don't need the permit. In Patani, I don't think I need the permit. But you do need to get licensing, and I need to update everything so that I can legally fly, because I don't want any problems. So tomorrow I think I'm going to work on that. And the only problem that I have is that, man, it's so hard to get the, you know, inside of a little drone, a little mini drone, inside of it, they have a tag that has all the information on it. It's very, very difficult to get it. So I have to kind of make sure there's enough light and then put my camera there and then zoom it in. And it's just a pain in the ass. I remember doing it the last time, but I've got to get it done. And I do want to get drone footage where I'm going for sure. It's a must. So, and I need a red filter, which is, if anybody knows where to get a red filter for the Action Cam Pro, the DJI Action Cam Pro, it's the 5. There's a couple places, but none of them panned out. Then this one place is like, oh yeah, we got the DJI. They would not tell me it's for the 5. And I said, listen, all I need to know, yes or no, does it fit on the 5? And the guy goes, no, it doesn't fit, but you need to come down to my shop here on Sukhumvit 101. And I was like, oh my God. Underwater. I need to get the one that's underwater. I can use it underwater on my Action Cam. And I know there are some available, but they're never clear on if it's going to work or not on this particular camera, which just infuriates me, because I'm like, if it's going to work, it's going to work. I already bought one. I thought it was going to work, and it's for the GoPro. Now, I don't have a GoPro, so what I got to do? Go out and buy a GoPro so I can use the filter? I want to get some good footage underwater, so that's why I want to get it. Anyway, if you know of any places that sell it, let me know, and I will see what I can do about getting it shipped over here. But for now, that's all I got. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming in, and I will talk to you later. Maybe on Thursday, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Choke Dail, Jerkin my. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. That's good luck, and see you later.